Sailor Moon. Uh-oh. Girly anime. Uh-oh. Nah, I don't really have anything against this one. I actually sort of like it. I got into this anime around the same time I was watching Dragon Ball Z, and not and sort of in a kind of a funny way. I would only watch it because I was waiting for Dragon Ball Z to come on, and it was back in the time when watching Sailor Moon and Powerpuff Girls and My Little Pony or whatever girly shows were on at the time. That was uncool. And of course nowadays, it's like, oh yeah, you watch Sailor Moon, awesome. I watch all the Barbie movies, which I have in the past. Anyway, I kept it was one of those things where you keep watching it over and over, like not like the same episode, like the same show over and over when it would come on, waiting for your favorite show to come on, afterwards. And it just became interesting. I guess I kind of got used to it or something. It wasn't too bad either. It definitely had some age on it. Looking back at it, it actually sort of looked like it came out before Dragon Ball Z, which I feel like is sort of, I don't know, it looked like one of those old animes where they're all drawn the same. And I don't really have a specific favorite character though. I do have to give props to the girl with the blue hair, and I'm not going to picture her because, like I said, I don't have a favorite character. But anyway, I liked her because, there would be one point where she would wear a shirt and tie, and that would give me a humongous boner. Actually, no. I've always sort of had that kind of interest, like when girls dress like it, just because it's different. At the time, I was like, that's different. Never seen a girl wear that before. And of course, now it's just like, it's attractive. But yeah, I did like that, how she wore that kind of outfit. And I also kind of liked how they would wear different outfits. You really kind of have to be committed to your show a little bit in order to do that. Most shows are just too lazy. It's like, whatever, we'll just have them wear the same thing over and over. Then, questions get raised for like, do they have like millions of copies of the same clothes? What if those clothes tear up? Do they sew it back together and it magically looks brand new? Or do they buy a new copy? Not a new copy, whatever. And, do they shower? And, that kind of stuff. I don't even remember any of the characters' names, actually. I remember there was one character who was sort of like a superhero. I think she was Jupiter, and I remember she looked like basically the same thing as Sailor Moon. She almost looked like she was meant to be the main character, or like that she was the main character of a previous show, or something. But, I don't really remember too much besides that. I do remember one episode where, the main girl, I think her name is like Usami or something, or Asugi or something. She was interested in two guys, and she was dating them both at the same time, and she would always switch back and forth, between them. I remember sometimes, that one guy would switch between Tuxedo Mask and the white thing. I do believe they eventually get married, which is good. I also remember those two new girls showed up. It was like a new season. Doesn't Funimation now own the rights to Sailor Moon? Didn't they decide to go back and redub it or something? I don't even remember the cast. I remember it had its own theme song, and it came out like around the same time as Dragon Ball Z, maybe even before. And I think it was popular in its own little way. It was probably the big favorite show, for girls when Dragon Ball was airing. Or I guess Dragon Ball Z. I don't give a fuck. I just referred to the entire thing as Dragon Ball. That's the way I roll. Anywho, speaking of those two characters that I mentioned before, the two singers, the one with the short blonde hair and the one with the blue hair. Interesting how they were lesbos and they took that out of the effing show. And of course, we wouldn't know that until we did research. And they get married. Which is, interesting. It'd be funny, watching that and like, they do their sailor stuff. I think they give that part up, actually. I'm not entirely sure. They're like, let's do it, honey. Let's beat up the bad guy. I will punish you. That kind of stuff. And, I actually think that Sailor Moon did come out before Dragon Ball Z came out because I believe Akira Toriyama got the idea of the Great Saiyaman dance moves from Sailor Moon. Which, means he obviously watched the show or someone said, hey, check this out. This is pretty funny. Holy shit, that is funny. I'm going to use that for my manga. That kind of stuff. Nothing really major. But, overall, not too bad of a show. I even remember one time I went to my friend's house and, we watched the movie because I wanted to. I don't even know why. And the funny thing is, they were heavily into anime. They were watching stuff that, looked weird to me. Like movies about robots and shit. I probably should go on Facebook right now and ask him if his family's still into anime. I'm not entirely sure, but I do remember they were really into anime. That was like, they were like an anime family, which was actually pretty cool. But, anime. Makes me think of another topic, anime families. Anyway, I'm getting a little off track here. Sailor Moon. Was there a sequel to Sailor Moon? Wasn't it like Sailor Moon R or something? Maybe I'm thinking of Slayers, but While we're on the topic of Sailor Moon as in terms of its popularity, I feel like that Sailor Moon, next to Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh, was sort of like the most parodied anime in like regular cartoons. Like, Rugrats parodied Yu-Gi-Oh, which ironically used the voice actor from Duel Masters, who is now a fucking magician. And then Dragon Ball Z has been parodied obviously 12 million times, by every single friggin' thing. And I think Pokemon's been parodied a few times. I don't remember when, but I'm sure it has been. And Sailor Moon, I think, has just been, generally parodied as anime in general. I think more in like a negative sort of way, like not taking anime seriously, which in many ways is probably better that way. Yet at the same time, I always looked at anime as being, a more serious approach to cartoons, because anime really are just cartoons. Yes, I know, Big Flame's gonna come up. Anime is not cartoons, you dumb shit. Yeah, it's cartoons. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about, Sailor Moon. I'm not sure if it's on DVD. If you want to, I don't know if you really want to, if you're trying to just watch the show, you could probably find it on VHS somewhere. But, it's probably out on DVD, and I think Funimation has I'm pretty sure they do, and I think they might have even redubbed it. And they probably kept the Lesbo stuff, so, yeah, so if you're into that kind of stuff, get the new version. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about, Sailor Moon. See you guys next time. Oh yeah, I've never even heard a thing about the Japanese dub. I don't even know who voice acts in it. I don't even think, probably no one recognizable. All the voice actresses are probably dead or something. But yeah, I'll see you guys later.